Hey guys, it's Brendan Borman back from their 270 video. I invite you to follow me on Twitter at Brendan270game or join the Discord family at 270 videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and monetizing the channel. It'll mean so much to me if you hit that button. But let's get into today's content, that of course being the manufacturing bonus within 270. Looking at Michigan, Illinois, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, and Kentucky. Every single state has double-digit EVs, which is really important because you need 270 to win, except for Kentucky. A lot of these states have multiple state bonuses, and you have states like Illinois and North Carolina that have all 5 bonuses. And then if you look at Texas, of course, being the alpha, being 200,000 and so important in the game. Manufacturing is a mid-tier bonus, but is so crucial to success. It's either getting it fast or limiting your opponent in that specific group. Think of factories. Think of states where goods are produced. That's the manufacturing bonus. The manufacturing bonus has a base of $75,000. Sure, it's not the $100,000 base that high tech or swing states or African American is, but it is very viable inside the game. It is considered to be a Republican stronghold, but because of the crossover and different strategies, like let's say it's a swing state game or an African American game, or a battle out of New York, all of a sudden, it turns into a kind of a contest of who can get that manufacturing bonus, maybe with a pivot to Texas mid-game or trying to get the bonus through the Hangman strategy, which I will get to later on in this video. But first, if you are wondering on what candidate that it might be beneficial for you to play as if you want to pursue that manufacturing bonus, try these candidates out. So you've got Frederick Douglass on the Republican side. Of course, Frederick Douglass is one of those rare candidates that has an African American and manufacturing bonus. Think of an Abraham Lincoln type. You've also got Grant, who has a Republican kind of background, but also has that strong manufacturing. Think of him as like FDR on the Republican side, which of course we all know FDR is very strong inside the game. He has the largest manufacturing bonus. That whopping 40% bonus can, be very, very deadly, especially if he's able to build out of Texas, maybe get high tech or export, agriculture, some of those fringe bonuses that he also has attributes towards. And of course, we've got Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie Sanders, there's the free version, there's the 2020, the 2024. Lots of Bernies in the game, but Bernie is someone who on the Democratic side does have that manufacturing bonus. So if you're playing single player or 1v1, manufacturing can be really important. I especially love to build out of Texas in the multiplayer format, and so I will talk about that here in just a second, but definitely a great strategy to pursue Texas. One simple rule to think about when you are thinking to yourself, how can I get this manufacturing bonus? Texas plus 2 generally equals the manufacturing bonus, except when you're talking about Wisconsin, Indiana, and Kentucky. Now, we'll get to the exact dollar amount here in a minute, but these 3 states are unique, and it can actually be a contrarian play to get Texas plus all 3 of these, especially in a multiplayer because they're going to be the least contested. Especially with Indiana and Kentucky, those states only have manufacturing, whereas Wisconsin is also a swing state. It's also an ag state, and so you might face a little bit of contest in Wisconsin. Going back to the multiplayer format, so of course, if you're building out a multiplayer, you have Texas, you can pursue either the oil and gas bonus, the ag bonus, or the manufacturing. And it is highly recommended that you get those bonuses as efficiently as possible. One of the most popular strategies is to get Illinois and Indiana. Now, you can obviously replace Indiana with Kentucky, but Illinois is so important. It's a 5 bonus state. It's relatively good cost per value with $50,000 cost for the maximum, the 20 EVs. And so if you can get both of those states plus Texas, that is a very good foundation that can help you keep manufacturing the rest of the multiplayer match. The next bonus or the next kind of combination is the MAG group of Texas, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. If you have just these 3 states, you have the manufacturing bonus, and you are just the 100K state of Florida away from unlocking the agriculture bonus, which if you have these states, there is a very high probability that you also have, let's say, a Virginia, because Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, and Wisconsin is also the most efficient way to unlock the swing state bonus. And so these states correlate very, very well with someone like an FDR or anyone that has a swing manufacturing like an Abraham Lincoln. And so do not sleep on North Carolina and Wisconsin as a duo. It is a very, very powerful mag duo inside the 270 game. Finally, we also have the Hangman Strategy. I've actually made a separate video about Hangman inside the game. I did not coin that phrase. I actually heard about it from Daniel Smith, which I'm sure he heard about it from someone else. But basically, it is the idea that you can unlock the manufacturing bonus without Texas. So my favorite route to have Hangman inside the game is to have all of the manufacturing states except for Texas, Indiana, and Kentucky. Now, in a 1v1 match, it's really, really hard to do unless you can snowball a long swing state battle, or maybe you're playing against a player who's less experienced. But if you can hold on to that manufacturing bonus without Texas and then use that money to pivot, that bonus funds to pivot to Texas, and use pure cash to cut off your opponent from California, that can be a very, very deadly combination. So get to know the Hangman Strategy and try it out inside 270. One conversation I mentioned earlier was, does the manufacturing bonus slightly lean toward the Republicans? And while there are several Democrats that have that big bonus, thinking of like FDR, traditionally it is thought of manufacturing as being a pro-Republican bonus. But because of the way a lot of games they play out, whether there is a contest in swing states or Old South or high tech, it's not necessarily the case. And that's one reason why that I think that this game is slightly biased to Democrats. I think it's generally balanced and fair, but it's definitely an interesting conversation to have. So let's talk about some battleground states. Of course, Pennsylvania is an important state. We haven't talked a whole lot this video, but there are so many games where my game of 270 lives and dies by that Pennsylvania steal or defense. Michigan is so important because of the African American, the high tech, and the manufacturing bonus. Illinois, oftentimes I find myself choosing between, do I defend or do I go all in Pennsylvania and Illinois? That 50K versus 60K expense really can come into play. In real life, no Republican has ever won the presidency without the state of Ohio, and it has become more and more important for me in 1v1 games, especially if I am comfortable not having that swing state bonus, which I know personally I love to have it. And then North Carolina, it is so crucial in the early game, especially when you're in the race for an Old South or swing state. So definitely some important battlegrounds within manufacturing. However, do not sleep on these states. So we've talked about all of them already, but Wisconsin, 10 EVs on the ballot. That is a very trendy state to steal. And then really the top two of Indiana and Kentucky. Those states are generally never locked in before the ballot. There's usually, because of the high number of EVs, 11 and 8 respectively, you have cash versus bonus funds. But typically there's pressure in other states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, or Illinois, where someone might have to decide, well, do I risk leaving Indiana or Kentucky exposed? Do I defend them by 2 pips each? And oftentimes I find that people, they try to hedge their bets too much, and they might defend Kentucky by 2 and Indiana by 2. And if you go all in Indiana by 5, you can steal those 11 EVs. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video as well as the other state group videos. And until next time, this is Brendan Borman saying thank you so much for watching. And again, it would mean the world to me if you hit that like button and subscribe. And until the next video, I will talk to you guys again soon.